We're living in the age of maxing, an era where almost every part of life can be optimized. Our appearance, health, careers, productivity, scent, even our sleep. And I don't think that's inherently a bad thing. Taking care of yourself, building discipline, and striving to improve are all worthwhile pursuits. But somewhere along the way, we've become so focused on improving the outside of our lives that we've neglected the inside. We've learned how to optimize our body, but not always how to cultivate our souls. What if the most important thing we could max out isn't our appearance or productivity, but our capacity for wonder, peace, meaning, and connection? That is what I want to call soul maxing. If looks maxing is about the external, then soul maxing flips that idea towards inner growth. Instead of asking yourself, how can I become richer, more attractive, or more productive? You're asking yourself, how can I become more alive? Cultivating depth, wonder, peace, and meaning instead of optimizing external success. Soul maxing is treating your soul as if it's worth developing. You're upgrading the quality of how you experience life and how life experiences you. You realize that beyond this human suit exists a soul. And I often wonder, how does our soul look? When I imagine how the soul looks, I often picture a little ball of light just wandering around and bouncing around. I don't really picture distinct features or distinct skin colors or body types and sizes. Now, I'm not sure if this light has a color, but there's beauty in wondering, right? Maybe the colors of our souls are our favorite colors, the colors that we gravitate towards the most. And maybe my soul's color is green, maybe it's orange. In discovering our souls, we can find fun. My sunflowers look a little sad right now, but before I head out and intertwine with the sun, I'm going to replenish this water. I'm sure sunflowers aren't meant to last very long, but I'm trying my best. And I can't forget my bathing suit bottoms because we are just going to the lake today. I'm finally here. I'm out the house, guys. I feel absolutely amazing. In the sun, I feel like I am rejuvenated. I really needed this. For the past few days, I have been feeling sort of empty. I can't really describe this feeling. I haven't been feeling much. It's like I was feeling nothing. I wasn't feeling happy, sad. Do you understand what I mean? Do you also sometimes just feel nothing? So this caused me to disassociate a lot. There would be moments where I would just be lying in my bed, or I would just put my head on the kitchen table and just stare into nothing. Suddenly I determined that when I feel like I am feeling nothing, my soul is trying to speak to me, and my soul is asking me to be more creative. And so I got myself up, I made myself a creative meal, and I did a lot of reflecting. I wrote some poetry, and I decided that today I will show you guys some ways that I enrich my soul rather than shopping or showing you my makeup routine or showing you my workout routine or talking about anything exterior. I'm reaching towards the sun, but not just physically. I just feel like my soul is elevating so much. And when you feel a feeling that you cannot describe, most likely that is your soul trying to speak to you. That is your soul trying to tell you, like, girl, boy, go be creative. I feel like a lot of creative people need those moments where they literally are just sitting there and disassociating, like, I don't know what to do right now. I'm literally just going to sit here with it. And then next thing you know, tears may come down your face. Like tears definitely ran down my face because I was like, dude, am I just feeling lonely? No, my soul was crying out to me. And I need to be creative in order to feel alive, in order to stay alive. I need to be in the sun and I need to spin around. I need to just make connections that exist outside of the bodily realm. And we talk about community so much, and community is so important. But you also have to develop a community that is unseen, a community that is only felt within. And I want to become an expert at that. How do we know souls are real? Like, how do we know? Can you sense it by sensing the lack of soul in someone, something? Can you tell by looking in someone's eyes? Perhaps a rich soul is identified by a profound individuality or desire to be known as a separate entity. Maybe the presence of a soul is measured by the depth of one's uniqueness. However, this depth isn't calculable because everyone is on their own journey, so it's best to not compare the depth of one's individuality to another. If we remove the notion that a soul can be identified simply based on sensing its presence, how do you know souls exist? I believe souls are real, and I'm not denying their existence. However, I'm curious of your thoughts.
He venido a un barecito con piscina, me apetecía mucho.
I feel like every single time I film, I become more and more vulnerable with you. And I love that for me. And I love that for us because that means that our community is becoming or has already been such a safe space. You often see me spinning around and smiling and dancing sometimes and just being so whimsical on camera. But before those moments, almost every time before those moments, I'm shedding tears. I'm having deep thoughts. I'm questioning my entire existence. And I feel like those moments are definitely needed at times. This is the third day in a row that I've been disassociating, just staring off into space, and just staring at the wall, just staring at the sun, and allowing the inner workings of my being to really speak to me. And sometimes I hear nothing. And that could be the challenge because as humans, as beings who always question and who always wonder and who always wants to know, sometimes we want the answers to our questions immediately. Sometimes they come verbally through someone else. The answer just pops in your head. Sometimes if you look at the sky, they're written in the clouds, and if you are connected in that way. And sometimes you just need to be creative, and they'll come out in sweet words like a poem. And sometimes they come out through tears. Sometimes they take a long time to come. Sometimes the answers don't look like answers. Although I've spent a lot of time alone this summer, it doesn't feel like the summer that I had last year because I really feel like I'm becoming prepared. Oh, cat hair. What's new? I feel like I'm becoming prepared for something that I can't see, but that I can feel so profoundly. And the warmth of the sun on my face right now is just a representation of that warmth that I feel expanding inside of me and throughout me. And sometimes this feeling is so confusing because as a gentle soul who has empathy and who truly wants nothing but the best for every living being, when you go through these moments of deep questioning and pain, pain of loneliness, pain of maybe sometimes feeling misunderstood, pain of having to learn lessons back to back and just experience life, you're like, what the heck? Why me? Whenever I have those questions, I let them come through and I feel the heaviness. It's not a pretty feeling, but ultimately I understand that there's a calling on my life and there's a calling on your life and there's a calling on our lives that really require us to go through these moments. Feeling empty and disassociating and feeling hollow sometimes is a really uncomfortable feeling. But when you're feeling hollow, as I've mentioned before, you really have to find the strength to just fill in that space through being a multifaceted being and create, writing, talking, painting, drawing, creating questions. No one's asking you to be Picasso. Of the 3 days, I would say that yesterday was definitely the most difficult day for me. And every single day, regardless of how I'm feeling, I always like to move my body and get a workout in. But I found that right after I did my workouts, I just laid in bed and my eyes were just open and I just didn't know what to feel. And I can't force myself. I just simply can't force myself to feel happy and to feel elated. There's power in just sitting with it. And so that's what I did. My inner being was crying out to me like, what the heck are you doing? We did not come this far for you to see this deep moment as something negative. Get up and do something about it. You're special. You are amazing. You are a light. You are a light in this world. Go shine, even if you have to force yourself. And so we're here and it's the next day. And I went out and it felt amazing. And if there's anyone watching who feels alone or a heavy feeling, sometimes you feel empty on the inside, as cliche as this may sound, you're not alone. And confirmation of this are the amazing comments that I get on my videos, Instagram DMs, and there's so many people who relate, and that's so beautiful. But if there were no one who relates to you, your purpose in this life is just still so beautiful. And I feel myself getting emotional right now, but I won't cry because I feel like I'm talking to myself. And we are reflections of one another. If you're listening to me right now and you're resonating with me, you are literally looking at yourself. Yourself is talking to you because this is your life. This is your life. Everything that you go through is meant for your elevation, even if it causes pain. So just see videos that inspire you as you talking to you, you inspiring yourself, another version of you, if you want to put it that way. As dreamy as this may sound, sometimes I wish that, and this sounds so dangerous actually, dreamy, dangerous, DD. Sometimes I wish that I can have like a meet and greet in like Colorado or somewhere in the middle of nowhere where you can see the stars and we can just stargaze together. All of us, everyone who feels so deeply and so profoundly, and we can just stargaze together in silence and share some words. But this video is your reminder that you are not alone. And when you are feeling so much that you feel nothing at all, you have to do something about it. You have to create something. And not everyone feels these feelings. Not everyone feels hollow sometimes, and elated sometimes, and sad sometimes. And it just deeply, if you feel deeply, then you understand. Although I feel like our soul has way more of a quality to it and overall importance when we think about the different realms, 3D, 4D, 2D. You know, our souls exist in a realm that we cannot see. I feel like we must take care of our bodies and our souls just the same. The state of our bodies represents how we see ourselves on the inside. Don't equate feeling empty or feeling numb to feeling sad and thinking that you have to stop taking care of yourself. Yeah, let's go. Stand up. Let's move around. Let's spin around regardless of how sad or how lonely you may feel. Let's stretch our hands up. My cats probably think I'm so cool. But let's do something about this. There's a time for everything, and there's a time to feel deeply, and there's a time to feel so happy, and there's a time to just sit down and write, and there's a time to just sit down and think, and there's a time to just sit down and cry. Do not allow the feeling of sadness to consume your whole being. Ultimately, it's best to just not identify with your feelings and to see them as a result of the current moment, which allows you to question why you're feeling how you're feeling, and to rationalize those things to ultimately improve the quality of your life. And no life is perfect. There's no such thing as perfect. I mean, something can be perfect for you in the moment, in the stage of life where you are now, but I never reach for perfection in anything that I do. I just ultimately want to feel and to understand and rationalize that feeling, and to move accordingly in a way that results in my growth. And so it seems like every single time I sit here, I just talk and talk and talk and talk. I could be like this. I could be like this. I could be like this. It's something about this spot. Maybe it's the sun feeding me all this energy, you know? Okay. I'm curious. I'm really curious to know your thoughts of these topics.
Southbound to see